So, Angelina, tell me a little bit about your family life.
Okay. So I was born, my mom and my dad, they were not married when I was born. My dad was really abusive and on drugs, so my mom left him when I was 9 months. And yeah, she took him to court to try to get full custody twice, and he didn't show up either time, so she got full custody. And I was 3 when my stepdad came into the picture. They got married when I was 7. I felt a lot of rejection from my stepdad. As a child, it almost felt like he took my mom from me, and she was like the one thing I had. So I was like, okay, now I have nobody. And when I was 10, I got pretty curious about my biological father. So ended up asking mom if we could reach out to him. Met him for the first time when I was 10. It felt really great first time meeting him. I felt like I almost found that missing piece that I needed in my life. And yeah, and then the second time we met, he had brought his wife and his 2 kids, and I wasn't comfortable with that, but he pretty much said, "All well, like you can come if you want." So I went. I saw that he could be a dad to my brothers, and I was like, "Cool." So you chose them over me. Like you went and started a whole new family, chose them and not me. So again, feeling a lot of rejection at a young age, and yeah, I got a phone when I was 10. Got into social media at that age. I wasn't taught as a child to really cover my body, to respect myself, to take care of like my body's private. Like I never got taught that. And so yeah, I ended up having Snapchat at a young age. I was in middle school, so I was 12, and I had sent naked pictures of myself to a guy, and I got
12 years old.
Yeah, 12, and I got exploited. Not even just at my school, but in the whole county. So I had 4 different schools of guys cyberbullying me, harassing me online. Even in person at school, I was getting bullied. It was just an everyday thing, and that's when my depression and suicidal ideation started to really come in at that age, because I started to hate myself. Yeah, I went to my mom about it, tried to confide in her. She didn't know how to handle it, so she was really worried, and out of fear, she kind of shamed me a little bit. But I knew she wasn't meaning to do it now. I don't blame her. I was just very much, yeah, I was lost, and even though I was getting bullied for it, I continued to send those pictures because I got that instant gratification. I got that validation online where, yeah, I'd send the pictures and they would be super nice to me after, but even though they would bully me after, or they would bully me in person at school, I still liked that instant gratification. So, yeah, I continued to do that. And then 8th grade, I was 13, I started hanging out with people who were vaping and drinking, and I was drinking with them and vaping, but I didn't really, I never drank and got drunk. I just drank to fit in. And then I was 14. And also I got introduced to a Christian church when I was 10.
Okay. So when you were 10, this is what did you know about Jesus even before you went to this Christian church? What was your idea about who God was, or did you even think about that?
No, so a lot of memories, it's like a Swiss cheese. That's my memory as a child, but God was very much not in the picture. Growing up, even when I got introduced to the church at 10, I don't remember that. I just know, from my mom, that we started going to that church. And then I was...
With your mom?
Yes, with my mom, my stepdad, and my brother. And yeah, I ended up going on a mission trip when I was 12 to San Francisco to feed the homeless with the church. And that's when I have a vivid memory of worshiping and them...
on that mission trip?
It was on the mission trip. And I was worshiping, and it was rainy outside, and I remember just feeling, that's when I was super depressed and I was getting bullied and stuff. So I ended up feeling this light. I just felt the sun came out of the clouds, and I was just oh my goodness. And I think that's the first time I ever felt God's presence. I felt so light after. I was oh my goodness, just didn't feel heavy, and it was so beautiful. And then the church that I was attending, they said, oh, you pray this prayer and you go to heaven, you get saved. So at 12 years old, I prayed that prayer, and I was I'm going to heaven, and they didn't explain too much about salvation and what that truly meant. So I was just okay, I'm saved. And yeah, I didn't really, after that, I didn't read the Bible. I wasn't desiring the Lord. I was just it was kind of a ticket to heaven. And I was I got it, I'm good. I don't need to do anything. And yeah, nobody really explained it to me.
Did you continue to go to church?
Yeah, I don't remember literally any lessons or anything. I've thought back and I don't remember much. All I remember is getting called out at a young age about what I was wearing, or being with the crowd that was getting high at youth group, or like, you know, just getting drunk at youth group, like just in the bathroom. Like it was just a lot of like, I was rebelling a lot. And yeah, I didn't understand. Like I think I just almost saw like the Christians that I was around, like I just saw them as judgmental, and I saw them as like too good for me. Oh, like you're too good. Like I could never be like that. Or like I was almost like too cool to like be in that group, you know? I was like, oh no, like I'm living the real, like I'm having fun. I'm having fun, even though I was so miserable and depressed. Like I was just so deceived into thinking that the things that I was doing were going to fulfill me at some point. And yeah, so ended up in the church. I was going to youth group all throughout high school, but that's when I really got into like substances. I started smoking weed when I was 14. I started getting into psychedelics at that same age. I went into a mental health group home at 14 as well.
Was that your mom's idea?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the first time she had really. I was at youth group one day. Actually got in the car with her, and I remember just like screaming and crying to her that I wanted to kill myself, because it had been 2 years of me trying to be quiet about the whole thing, like me just being so miserable, you know, acting out in other ways, getting in trouble, rebelling against my parents, and them just really punishing me more and more, and not really like, you know, oh, how are you? Are you okay? Like it was never like that. So I kind of exploded in the car one day. She took me to the ER. They wanted to 5150 me, but I was pretty good at manipulating at that age. So I was like, I'm not going to hurt myself. I'll be fine. Like, it's fine. So I ended up going home. And then it's like a week later, I ended up just smoking weed in my house. And I was, again, rebelling against my mom, like really bad. And she was like, okay, like it's time for you need a higher level of care. Yeah. So yeah, I went to that group home. And then
how did you feel when
being
you went
there
to the group home?
Honestly,
did you agree with your mom?
I was more of like, I just like I would do anything at that point, because I was like, you know what, I started to see how much I was affecting my mom, and I cared so much about her, even though I didn't care about myself at the time. I cared about her, and even though I was rebelling and being rude, like I still cared about her. Like deep down, I still love her, but yeah, she's just like, she means a lot to me. So I was like, okay, I'll go to like ease her heart, you know?
Okay.
So I went, while I was there, it was the first time I ever got introduced to therapy. So I started to actually talk about like things that had bothered me, and understanding like more about mental health, and more about the fact that these things that happened to me as a child really could, like, they affect me now. And like the things that I've been going through the things that I was going through for those past 2 years from 12 to 14, like it all really affected me, you know? And I was finally able to talk to my stepdad about something he had said to me when I was really young that really affected me. And I was able to tell him how that made me feel and get some clarity. It didn't, of course, like heal the wound right there at that moment, but like it was good to be able to finally talk and like conversate with him about it. And yeah, ended up getting out of that group home, going right back to that same environment at the same school. So I was getting bullied again, still getting high with those same people. And
were you still getting like counseling or therapy? Or
I was, but I was, at that point, I was like really good at like saying the right things. Okay. I think in that group home, I also met a lot of people who had like been in and out of group homes like that. So they knew how to like
be on the down low.
Yes. Yeah. To like say the right things, to not get, you know, yeah.
Okay. So you were trying to avoid a mental health.
Right. I was trying to avoid any.
Did you want to leave the group home?
I didn't, because I was comfortable around the people. I feel like I was around like-minded people. And of course, like, they weren't the best influences. Like, I wasn't either, but like we were all just so depressed and suicidal. So it was like, oh, I have somebody who actually understands, you know? And when I got out, I ended up getting a misdemeanor at school for having a controlled substance on me. And so I got sent to like a drug group after that.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going there weekly. I was going there literally like 3 times a week. And I was getting counseling there. They were drug testing me there. So I was from the age of like 14 to 16, I was going there, because it's usually like a 9-month program, but I just kept going in and out of it. Like I kept having to restart because I would get dirty tests or I would get in trouble. And I was mostly there because I was on informal probation. So yeah.
So during that time period, like, was your family still going to church?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I imagine there's a little bit of a conversation about what are you doing? Like,
what are you doing? Yes.
And God,
you know, was never, like, unfortunately, God, like most of my stepdad's family is the one they're the ones that introduced us to the Christian church.
Okay.
And my mom was raised Catholic, but we didn't go to Catholic church or anything like that. But the conversation about God was never like, it was my stepdad kind of telling me that I'm going to hell because of what I'm doing.
Oh, not like, hey,
no,
he
not
loves
like
you.
he loves you.
And
No,
he'll help you.
not at this point. Yeah, not really, or I at least don't remember any conversations like that. Only ones I remember is like, oh, do you want to go to hell for what you're doing? Like, do you see what you're doing? You're gonna go to hell. Like, you know, like all this stuff. Very condemning thoughts. Like condemning, like just words that were just not. Yeah, they weren't. It wasn't like, oh, he loves you and he sees you and he cares. Like, no, it was like he's mad at you and like you're doing these things and you're sinning against him. And yeah, so that's kind of my idea of God. Was like, okay, so he's just gonna send me to hell. You know, like all this stuff. I'm going to hell. Like. And I was, at that point, I didn't care. I was like so suicidal, so deceived by the devil that I was like, you know what? I don't care if I go to hell. Like, I just don't want to be on this earth anymore, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I was 16 when my mom actually got saved, and she like completely changed. That's when she started to really like, I mean, she was very like protective and always just like on me, like, you know what I mean? Like kind of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know? But then at that point, she had kind of taken a step back and been like, I love you, you know, and like God loves you. And that's when those conversations started to come in. But of course that hurt, and that all that manipulation, the lying, everything I did to her, like stealing from her, you know, like letting people in, like sneaking people in her house, like all this stuff. Like she, of course, was not okay with that. So of course she was really hurt, you know, and she at that point didn't really give it all up to God. You know, she was kind of just like still trying to control me. And yeah, I mean, there's no control. I was an addict at that time, so I was going out, sneaking out, doing drugs in her house. And she sent me to rehab when I was 16. I went to a rehab for 60 days. Didn't think I had an issue at that point. I was in there. They were telling me stuff. I didn't think I had an issue, though. I was like, dude, I'm just doing what everyone else around me is doing. You know, I'm just smoking weed and doing like, you know, Molly every weekend, but that's fine. Like, I don't have an issue, you know, or, you know, yeah. So I was really into. That's when I started getting into harder drugs, and I had gotten a boyfriend at that time, and that's when like the lust really started coming in. Like it came in when I was 12 for sure, like, but now I was having sex and I was cheating on my boyfriend, and I was just doing anything I could to like really fill this like God-sized hole in me. I was trying so hard. And I also got introduced to AA when I was 16. So that's when I finally, like some program had pointed me towards a higher power. You know, they're like, well, you need a higher power. Like, you know, step one is admitted we were powerless over drugs and alcohol. Step two is like, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And it's like, I kind of believed, you know, I kind of also believed in crystals and tarot cards at the time because all my friends in high school were into that. So I was like, oh, like I can get a tarot reading, but I can also still believe in Jesus. You know, I believe in Jesus, and that's all I need to do. Because again, that church, all I really remember is them saying, all you need to do is believe and you are saved. And it's like, yes, we're saved by faith, but it comes more than, you know, I feel like there's more than just, okay, professing it out of my mouth and then doing completely, you know, opposite of what he wants me to do. So yeah. And then got out of rehab that time, and I was like, okay, I can't smoke weed or do Molly anymore. So I'm just going to like drink and do cocaine. So started doing those things. 17, got into those.
And at the same time going to AA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, definitely lying to everybody around me until it was too hard to lie again and everyone knew that I was using again. So then I just stopped going. I was 18 when I had really found out, like, I came to acceptance of like, I have an issue and I'm an addict. I was in Disneyland with my family for my birthday, my 18th birthday, and I was going through fentanyl withdrawals the entire trip while we were in LA. I was doing cocaine, but it was all laced with fentanyl.
Did you know it was?
Okay. No idea. I just decided before we left, I was like, okay, I'm not going to bring any cocaine or weed. Like, I'll be fine. We're going to Disneyland. I don't need to get high. So, yeah, on the way down there, about like 4 hours into the car drive, I started throwing up like nonstop. And yeah, that whole time I didn't even make it to Disneyland for like more than an hour. I was just in the hotel room throwing up and like couldn't sleep. It was terrible. And the night before my 18th birthday, my mom came in and she was like, she knew I smoked weed, but she was just like, she didn't know that I was doing cocaine. So she asked me, like, I know this isn't from weed, these withdrawals. So like, what are you doing? What drugs are you doing? And at that point I was so like in so much pain, like physically. And I was like, okay, like I am doing cocaine. And she pretty much told me like, you need to either get help or get out of my house. Cause at the time my brother was 8, so we're 10 years apart. And so she's like, I can't have you doing those drugs around my son.
Right.
And So I said, okay, I'll go to AA. At that point, I had really, like, I thought I hit bottom. I was like, okay, like, I have an issue. I need to get help. Go to AA and get a sponsor, start working my steps. I get about 3 months sober. And then I've always had a problem with lust as well. So I get a boyfriend. And he's in the program too. But, I mean, it's not, we're in very vulnerable states at that time. Like, we're both in early sobriety. It's just not smart. You know, we make each other our higher powers. I forget about God. Now this guy, I need to stay sober for him, you know? And like, yeah, before I knew it, I was using again. And then he was using again. And it was just, yeah, it was that same cycle for literally, I'm 21 now. So it's been like almost 3 years of that same cycle of in and out of AA, in and out of rehabs. I've been to 10 rehab centers within the last 3 years. I've only completed 5 programs, but in and out. I was 19 and I had gotten, it was my best friend at the time, I had gotten introduced to her big brother who was a pimp. And he like offered to be in a business deal with me. He's like, oh, it's a business deal. Like, we're going to make this amount of money this month. Like, I'll give you this amount. I get this amount. We're good. And I was like, I've never had that much money in my life. Like, okay, you know, and I get free drugs. Great. And I was already having sex with all these people because that's just what I was doing. I mean, I had boyfriends from here and there. And like, even though I was in committed relationships, I was still having sex with all these other people. I was very narcissistic, like very, like I was like, okay, I can do whatever I want, but you can't. Like, I was very much like, you know, and I, at the same time, like I was still like thinking I was saved. Like, it's crazy too, because I had a cross around my neck. I thought like I was going to hell, but then I came back. I was 19 before I had started prostituting, and I had been in rehab, met a woman who like, she was so great. She,
Can I stop you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you were actively thinking I'm saved and actively putting on a necklace with a cross. And was there were you talking to God? Were you encountering his presence? Were you in scripture?
I was not in scripture. No, I was 19 before I had started prostituting, and I had been in rehab, and I had felt his presence again. And I was sober at the time. Okay. And I had, just like I feel like he brought me to, I don't remember the specific verse, but it's like, I'm always with you. Like, I will always be with you.
Yes.
And I had heard that, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, he's been with me this whole time. So after hearing that again, I think, okay, now I'm ready to get baptized. I didn't know what that meant either. I didn't know that meant like making it a public thing, that I'm going like, you know, public with my faith. Like, I just thought it was like, okay, I get baptized again, I'm saved.
So, and this is like 18
this
when
is
you
19,
were
right before, literally, like, this is probably 3 months before I started prostituting.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was still sober at the time. I get out of treatment.
Were you still living at home?
I was living in Santa Rosa at a sober living.
Oh, okay.
This was right after I got out of rehab. Okay. And so I get baptized, and then after that, I'm like, okay, you know, again, no change after that either. I'm still talking to all these guys. I'm still just doing the same thing over and over again.
How did you reconcile that in your mind?
I don't know. I think the church I was going to really made it seem like if I get baptized and I like pray this prayer, I'm saved. Like, I didn't understand, like I said, what true salvation was at all. I just really
kept seeing it as transactional.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh, I say this prayer.
Yes.
And then, oh, I get baptized.
Exactly.
And
I talk to you like once a week, and I, you know, ask you to do something for me, or, oh God, get me out of this situation. If you get me out of this, God, I'll live my life for you. I'll do this for you. Just so much, like, even I was manipulating everyone around me, but I was most importantly trying to manipulate God, and he knows better. Like, he was, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he, like, that's why I'm just so grateful for like what he's brought me through, because it's crazy how I treated him, and the fact that he is so faithful and he stayed with me despite what I've done. And like, yeah, it's absolutely, like, I'm just so undeserving, but he's just such a like graceful God. Oh, he's so beautiful. I just love him so much. But it's crazy. Like, yeah. So I really thought it was transactional. That's really, thank you for saying that. I didn't even think about it like that. But yeah, like, I was always saying that, or I was like, God, get me out of this situation. Like, just get me out of this. Get me out of this. Like, oh, you know, make my mom like not mad at me. You know, make her just not care about me. Like, so I could just do whatever I want. Just those kind of things.
Okay.
And yeah. So yeah, and then literally I relapsed and I start prostituting, and then
and so you got baptized.
What happened
when you were living in a sober
living,
and then started this transactional relationship with a pimp, right?
right.
Like, let's do some business, let's make some money,
right.
And there was nothing in you that was like contradictory, where you felt,
I don't think so. That's the thing, is like, I really, like, I was just, again, like, I was like, whatever. I was like, I can do what I want. It's my body. I used to always think that's my body. I can do whatever I want with it. You know, it was very much like, yeah, just thinking it's me, like making myself my God. You know, I was my God. I could do whatever I want. I'm not affecting anybody. You know, as long as if I'm 3 hours away from my family, it doesn't matter what I'm doing to them because they won't know. Like I was in Seattle getting pimped out. So I was like, oh, I'm in a whole other state. Like it doesn't matter. Little did I know my mom's getting dreams that the Lord is telling her. Like the Lord is telling her to look at my location and look up the street I was on, and it's known for prostitution. And she knew before I even told her. Like the Lord was speaking to my family so much while I was out there. Like it was crazy. Like my little cousin was having dreams about me. Like she was like, for some reason, like, you know, Angelina, like she's walking on a sidewalk and she's smiling, but her eyes look so sad. And I was just like, oh my, when I heard this, my mom was telling me later, like, I was just like, it's just so crazy how the Lord has literally had his hand on my life. Like for so long. And I've tried so hard to run away from him and his love. Like I was just like looking for love in all the wrong places. And, he was there the whole time.
And when you couldn't hear him, your family could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like literally. Yes. It's so beautiful. But
on your behalf.
Oh yes.
Yes.
It's
so so just to go back to our just line of what happened, like so you had a friend who had a brother who propositioned, hey, let's do this business deal, and you know, who was essentially a pimp. Yeah. And how did you get to Seattle? Or just tell me the next thing when you start working with them,
whatever that was. Yeah, I mean, so that night when we had that conversation, I had been about 7 months sober off cocaine. I was just drinking every day for that months. So like, he had given me cocaine, and I was like, oh, like I get this, and you know what I mean, like, and I get all this money. Sounds great. And I really thought that money was gonna fulfill me, so I decided to like. Just that next week, I called him. My ex-boyfriend had broken up with me, and literally the next day after he broke up with me, I called. His name was Nick, and I called him, and I'm like, "Hey, like, can you come pick me up and let's go?" You know, so he picks me up. We go straight to Seattle. He literally drives me there that night, and I end up on the Blade. So I'm walking up and down this road, like walking up and down the street.
You end up on the
Blade. That's what it's called.
Okay.
It's literally just like in movies, like when girls are walking up and down the street, and like.
It's like a district, or
it's literally like almost like a drive-through type of thing. Like that's kind of it's terrible, but yeah. So I'm there. I'm on the Blade like every night, but during the day I'm doing internet dating, or internet dates. I'm meeting with sugar daddies, and I'm getting money that way as well. So
kind of like escorting.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes. So it was a little bit of both. The second week we end up getting an apartment in Seattle. It's like a whole bunch of fraud too, because I gave him my social security number. I was just so.
You and Nick got an apartment together. Now, were you in your own?
No, we were literally
business partners.
Yeah. Okay. We were not in a relationship. I loved to say, "Oh, I'm not manipulated by him. Oh, I'm blah blah blah. He doesn't love me." But in reality, it's like I was still so manipulated because he would tell me like, "I'm your best friend. Like, dude, we're good. Like, we're partners. Like, we're good, you know?" Just because it wasn't a boyfriend pimp, like, doesn't mean I wasn't manipulated. Doesn't mean I wasn't verbally abused. And, like, just, he was so, like, when I was not making enough, or when I was, like, withdrawing because I was doing so many drugs, that I would have a couple days in between where I'd be, like, so sick. And he would be, like, just cussing me out, or, like, calling other girls and just talking about me. And, like, it was just a whole, like, it was a terrible experience. I had multiple times him threaten to hit me. He never did, but he would threaten to hit me, threaten to leave me all the time. And, yeah. I ended up asking him we had made the money that we said we were going to make. So I ended up asking him like, oh, could I have like my cut? And he ends up bringing me in like, not at all, like probably like an eighth of what he said he was going to give me.
Oh, wow.
And, at that point I was like, I'm getting so, like, it finally hit me that I was like, this is not what it seemed, you know, like really hit me. And I called my stepdad, because my mom at this point was blowing my phone up all the time. Like, she didn't specifically tell me she knew what I was doing, but she was always just like, what are you doing? What are you up to? Like, and I was just totally lying to her, telling her I started a new life with a new boyfriend, like just totally lying. And so at that point I called my stepdad crying. I was too ashamed to call my mom. So I called my stepdad. I just tell him, and I'm like, I'm doing this thing, and like, I really need a flight home. And they give me a flight home. I was supposed to only be there for 3 days, but ended up in the hospital those 3 days because I was withdrawing so bad.
You're only supposed to be at your parents' house for 3 days?
For 3 days. Like, that's what I told Nick, and like that's also what like I thought I just like, okay, I need to just see my family for 3 days, like get a little refresh and then go back. Like then like I just
and your stepdad knew you intended only a 3-day visit?
No.
Just
I was very manipulative again,
okay.
like just
No
take me home, you know, like just let me come home, and it was very manipulative again. And then ended up in rehab again, got out.
But not in Washington, down here?
In Fresno. I was in Fresno.
Okay.
And the whole time I was telling everybody that I was going to go back to prostitution because I wasn't, I was just still like that. Sin was living in me so rent free, and I was entertaining those thoughts. I was like, just still, I was still so like miserable. And I was like, you know what, the drugs and the men are the only thing that are going to fulfill me now. So I need to go back to them, even though they weren't. And I was so depressed and suicidal. I still was so deceived into thinking, oh, this time's different. It's going to be different. And so that day I got out of rehab, get in contact with Nick, end up like literally running away from my house just to meet up with him. We go to Sacramento this time actually, and then we end up in San Francisco. It's New Year's of 2024, so we're like passing these blades, and I'm going on them, and then we get to San Francisco, and I go on a date with a guy, and I forgot like my phone and like I forgot the phone that I had, so I had no way to contact him. Huh? I was On that night, I was like on like 5 different drugs. Like I was really messed up. End up like calling Nick off the guy's phone, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm outside." I go outside. He's nowhere to be found. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm lost, and I don't know what to do. I'm in San Francisco. End up finding his baby mama who had came with us like on this trip, which she was never with us, but she was being nice to me the whole time. And I'm very like, you know, I was just kind of like, I don't really care. I just need drugs. Like I just need drugs. So she was out on the side of the road too, and she's like, girl, like he's all the way in Oakland, like he's trying to leave us. And I was like, oh, what do you mean he's trying to leave us? Like what? And she calls him, and he ends up like coming back to get us, and the whole drive back was just silent, and it was so weird. And she's on her phone. He ends up grabbing it and like throw it out the window. He throws her phone out the window, and at that point I like started to freak out because I was like, bro, what's happening? Like this is weird, you know? And then she starts to tell me, she's like, Angelina, I know he said he's taking you to Seattle tomorrow, but when he takes you there, he's going to leave you there. He's taking you and dropping you off and coming back and just taking like the money that you made, and like that's all he's going to do. And I was like, and then I'm just thinking in my head, like, what is she talking about? And then he starts to like beat her up like really bad while she's saying all this.
For saying it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just, in that moment, I was like,
is he
really
still
like
driving?
woke up. Yep, he's driving. And it's very dangerous. Like we're swerving everywhere. He's also under the influence. So we're swerving everywhere. Like God literally kept us safe that whole drive. Like at that moment I started praying. I was like, God, like this is, I was like, God, just keep us safe. Like this is, and it was more of like, they have a child. I didn't even care about me and my safety. Like I was just more like, these people have children. Like just let them get back to their, like let her get back to her child. And like, I was just crying and in the back, like silently, because like I've never seen domestic violence. And I saw it, and it was terrible. And we ended up getting back to her house. He grabs all my stuff. He puts it in his truck, and he like pulls up, and he's like, "Oh, get in the car." And his baby mama looks at me, and she was just like, "Would you like to come stay with me tonight, and I'll take you home tomorrow?" And at that moment, I look at her, and I look at him, and I've never in my life seen someone like turn into a demon, but like his face morphed into something that was not human. Like it was terrifying.
So I was talking about more than an expression of anger or evil.
Yes.
You're
talking about literally
you saw in another realm.
Right. Like it was like absolutely terrifying. And in that moment, like something hit me, and it was like, I don't want to die like this. Like I don't want to die like this. I'm choosing life or death right now. I go with him. I just saw the way he just treated the mother of his child who doesn't even pay him. Right. I'm money to him. What can he do to me? You know? Right. So end up staying with her, go to rehab. It's beginning of last year. Leave rehab early for a man again, do the same cycle all last year, having sex, you know, and then I was started to sell myself without a pimp this time. So I left him, never saw him again, but started to sell myself on my own because I knew how to get the money. I wanted the money. So I started doing that. And in the beginning of this year, I had met this guy who like, I don't know, I've never been like, so infatuated with someone, but I was so infatuated with him. So like,
was it someone that you met in the business or?
No. Okay. No. He was just the guy that I like. yeah, I just met through a friend of mine, and like I was like, oh my goodness, like he's so great. Like I just was super, yeah, just like into him. So I was like, okay, like this is so great. I'm gonna stay sober for this guy, and like I, not even stay sober. My sober was like me just smoking weed. That was really it, because I was like, oh, I'm sober, and so ended up like I stopped doing all the drugs I was doing before, and ended up moving in with him. About 2 months into us dating, I got pregnant, and I had never wanted kids or like never wanted a husband or to get married, because I really thought I was gonna be dead by the time I was 18. So like I never planned for that. And the more I was like alive, I was like, oh, I'll probably be dead by the end of the year. It doesn't matter. I don't need, like, I'm not gonna have these things. And so when I got pregnant, like it was like a big wake up call for me. I think that's when the Lord had really, like, from that point till now, that's when I started to see the Lord like really trying to get my attention. But yeah, so got pregnant, ended up kind of having a reality check that I can't even like brush my teeth or shower every day. Like, how am I supposed to take care of a child? There's no way. And yeah, so ended up making like a decision in my head, and I talked to like the father of the child about it, and I was like, I'm gonna get an abortion. Like, I can't do this. I can't even stop smoking weed or vaping. Like, can't even imagine, you know, if when I have this child, if I'm gonna just leave my child to go do drugs. Like, I know this isn't gonna go well. And so he doesn't really care. Like, he wasn't really like, he was really into money, like a lot. So he was just more worried about the money and how much it was going to cost us than the fact that it was a child, you know. So yeah, ended up calling my mom, telling her what's going on. She tells me, like, at this point she hadn't let go fully, but she had really like depended on the Lord and just prayed about it. Like, all she could do, she knew, was pray about what my situation. Right. And that's all she did. She's like, Angelina, like, I really think this is the Lord trying to give you like a gift. And, you know, and she's like, these are also like, you know, you've been having sex without, you know, protection for so long. It was a matter of time before this happened. Like, you can't sit here and act like, you can't go get this abortion and act like, oh, well, it's just a one and done thing. Like, you can't just go do this whenever you want. And so that really hit me. But again, I was like, she doesn't understand. She doesn't get it because she's not a drug addict. I was so victimized. I was like, I'm a drug addict. Nobody gets it. Oh, I'm so miserable. And yeah. So then I ended up talking to my cousin about it. She says the same thing about this is a gift from God. And she's a believer. She's been a believer most of my life. And the thing is, before I talked to her this time, I hadn't talked to her probably in person for like 2 years because I was so
interesting.
Yeah, I had so much shame. Yeah. Anyone that was Christian or like truly that was the light of God, I would shy away from. I would run away from them. I was like, nope, you're too good for me. Like, you just don't understand what I'm going through. You don't get it, you know, like all this stuff. And a lot of pride as well. It was weird because I used to fluctuate between so prideful and like narcissistic to like I am nothing, and like just so much back and forth. I was diagnosed with also like a lot of mental health disorders. I had like BPD, which is borderline personality disorder, as well as bipolar 1. And so I was on like a whole bunch of meds and stuff as well. Yeah. So I talked to her. She's telling me it's a gift. And then she also tells me, like, because I'm like, well, it's just a clump of cells, because that's what I had been told for so long. And, you know, I was like, oh, abortion, like, you know, people should have choices. It's their body, whatever. And she's like, well, Angelina, like, that's a lie. First of all, it's not just a clump of cells. And she starts like kind of educating me more on things. And I was like, oh my goodness. And she's like, and this abortion isn't just like you go to sleep, you wake up, everything's done. Like, no, Angelina, there's so many, like, there's just so much more to it that people don't want to talk about. And it's not going to be a one done thing. You're not going to be able to just do it and forget about it. And then I was like, oh my goodness. And then
Can really thought about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What prompted you to call
Talk to her?
Yeah. Is there anything that you realized?
I think it's just like,
after 2 years of not talking to her,
right,
knowing she's a Christian, knowing you shy away from Christians,
it's so, I think
you kind of had your mind made up about stuff, but yet you picked up the phone and reached out when you didn't need to.
Yeah, all I could say, it's all the Lord for sure. But
did you have any thought process?
Yeah, I think so. Like, also, I didn't mention this, but the guy I was with was very much like always saying, I'm going to hell. Like, hey, he's going to hell himself. He's like, oh, I'm going to hell, dude. Like, I know I am. Like, there's no way I'm not. I've done things that, you know, oh, I'm going to hell. And I'm like, and I would like get kind of like, what's the word? Kind of like, not like grossed out, but like uncomfortable around when he would say that. I was like uncomfortable. I was like, why is he saying that? You know,
bringing up eternal things.
Yes.
And like, here you are living not with eternity in mind.
No.
Yeah.
Living just for the next moment, you know, just like living moment to moment, getting high, like just then for the next high. That's all I was living for. Mm-hmm. And so bringing this up, and like I even remember like he had told me the one time he was at work and a man had offered to pray for him, and he's like, no, like, get away from me, like screamed at him. And I was like, in that moment, I just sat there, just looked at him, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Bro, nothing." Like in that moment, I think I was starting to see like, Angelina, look what you're around right now, you know,
Right.
like, and it
Because
was
you
almost
still
like I
had a
didn't,
softness,
right,
or
and
you would pray to God. So
right,
even though there was
a
a lot of
going,
hardness, there was still a softness in there.
right, there
Yeah.
was something that was, yeah, like, yeah, I don't know, like I was just, it was almost like the Lord was telling me, you don't belong here, you know, you do not belong here, and yeah, so I think what prompted me to call her was just, I don't even know. I think it was just more of, I always knew that she was just always there for me. I mean, I think it's almost like I almost got reminded of like our childhood and how close we were. And despite the fact that me and her lived completely different lives, like she was still always there loving me, like caring for me, never came to me in a condemning way, never came to me in a, you're going to, you know, do this. Like, no, she was just always like very much showing me the love of Christ. And like, so I went to her about it. And even though she gives me truth and love, that's what I love about it. You know, she's so great. Yeah, we had that conversation. I sat on it for a little bit, and then I was actually driving again in the rain, and the sun came through the rain again, and for some reason this song came on, this worship song, which I was not listening to Christian music at the time, so I don't know where this song came from, but came on, and like I started bawling, and I was just, I again felt God's presence, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like, oh, like this, I have, like, this is, I'm gonna give this a chance, I'm gonna trust in you, God, like I'm gonna give it to you, you know. So I like threw my vape out, stopped smoking weed, and then I think it was like 2 days later I started spotting, and second I started spotting, I just kind of had a lot of doubt, because I was like, okay, like obviously this gift is leaving me type of thing, because again it was transactional, so it was like, okay, he's giving me this, that's why I'm gonna do this. It wasn't like, you know what I mean, like, yeah. So I ended up going to the ER later that night, and they ended up calling me the next day telling me that I was miscarriaging. And even at that point, like even when I was at the hospital, I didn't wait for the results. I just left and got high, because I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like it's happening. Like, you know, like it's happening. I'm not going to have this gift. So what's the point? I have nothing else to live for, because I was living only for that child now at that point. So it's like, yeah, nothing to live for. Go right back to not even the guy who the father of my child. Me and him had broken up at this point. Like it was really toxic, and so I'd gone back to a drug dealer's house that I used to stay with, and I started getting high with him. And like this only lasted 4 days, but within this 4 days, like the Lord was just working through so many people. Like there was a pimp that wanted to pimp me out, and I told him, I was like, as long as you give me drugs, I don't care. He ends up picking me up from where I was staying, taking me back to my house, and I live on like a ranch, so there's like a big driveway. When you say
taking you back to your house,
like my mom's house.
Okay.
Yeah, like my mom's house, because my stuff was all there still. Okay. I just was, when I'm on my addiction, I am everywhere but my house. Sure. The shame is too big there, like too big. Like I feel so bad there, especially because again, my mom's Christian, and she wasn't very, like, as I wasn't condemning, but it was just much. She was just like, you know, the Lord cares. Like she was trying to tell me these things that the demons in me did not want to hear. They were like, nope, get away from her, and so I ended up going back. My mom was the only one home. I ended up going and packing my stuff. I walked down the driveway, which is really long, and like his car's gone. And I was like, that's weird, you know? So I go back up, I call him, and I'm like, where are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, why'd you just, you know, drop me back at my house? My car's not here. Like, I'm super mad. And he's like, Angelina, I don't even know you. He's like, but you obviously have a family that loves you and cares about you. Like, please stay there and get help. And I'm like cussing him out. I'm like, bro, like you're crazy. You need to take me to my car. Then I'm cussing my mom out, because at this, my mom doesn't see me, like she hadn't seen me at this point on the drugs I was on. I was doing cocaine and Xanax at this time. And I was just like really like not doing good. Like later now I found out most of all those drugs that I was doing were laced with fentanyl. So I was just so like out of it. And she had never really seen me like that. She was really, really graceful the whole time. She was like, Angelina, I know this isn't you. Like, I love you. Like, you know, like she was just trying to like, it makes me sad, but she was just trying to like keep me safe. And
sure.
Yeah, and I was just so rude. I kicked a hole in my wall. Like I was just so frustrated. I was like, you need to take me to my car. Like she took me back to my car. So I was like, I want to find a way either way. So it's either you take me or I'm going to find a way. Like I'll find a way. And she took me back there. Ended up going back to the guy's house that I was getting high at, and we ended up like going out with this drug dealer, and that drug dealer literally told me too, like, this guy again selling me drugs, I'm buying drugs for him, he tells me to go get help. He's like, he's like, bro, like, you need to go to rehab. And I was like, don't worry, I'm going to go after my 21st birthday, you know? And he's like, no, like, you need to go tomorrow. Like, you have an issue. And I was like, bro, no, I don't. Like, so deceived again, thinking, oh, you know, I don't care. And, yeah, so that night, I ended up going back to his house. I'm coming down. I'm super suicidal again. And at this point, like, the drugs aren't even working. I had done so many drugs that none of them were working anymore. I just wanted to die. So I texted my mom that night and I said, Mom, I want to die. And next day, she's calling me. Her sisters are calling me. My stepdad even texted me a picture of him crying, like, just saying, I love you and I care about you. And he wasn't very involved in anything, my treatment or anything the past couple of years. So for him to even reach out was something for me, and to see him crying, like, he doesn't cry. So, like, at that point, I just, like, again, like, felt like this feeling where I was just like, what am I doing? You know, like, I feel like it was just like, I don't know, my heart was just starting to, like, get less hard. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just like, I really started to, like, it was like almost like, I can't explain it, as like rose colored glasses that were on. I'm not seeing any of the red flags. They're slowly coming off, and I'm starting to see, like, all this stuff that I'm doing. And it's me. Like, I had to look at it as like, this is me and I'm the issue, you know? It's not anyone else. Like, it's, I can't blame anybody for what I'm doing. And yeah, so sitting in the car, getting all these messages, and then I just, like, start crying after seeing my stepdad's text. And as I'm crying, I get, my phone starts dinging, 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 and it's 12 messages. And now I see it so clearly as, like, God, because God had, like, the 12 apostles, and, like, just the amount, like, the number of 12 is so, like, significant. And, like, yeah, it's crazy. I get these messages. They're from unknown numbers. I start reading them. It's all my stepdad's family, who they're all Christian, who I stayed away for years. I would not talk to them. And they're just texting me, like, we know you're going through a hard time. We don't know what it's about, but, like, just know that Jesus loves you, and, like, he cares, and like, he can help you. Ooh. And yeah, so they're just saying all that. And now I understand. I used to think it was, like, my own thought coming in, but it was, like, God asking me, like, why do you keep doing this to yourself, Angelina? Like, why do you keep putting yourself in these positions? And I feel like at that point I'd finally opened my heart up, like, a little bit, and, like, he had just came in, like, he rushed in and he met me right there. Like, I was going through a miscarriage. I was high at the moment. Like, I had just spent the rest of my money on Xanax. I'm just sitting there, and, like, he just meets me right there. He just says, I love you, you know? And I don't know, I just felt this complete, like, just take over, and I finally let go. I was like, okay, God, like, just take it. And he took it for sure. Yeah, so, like, let go. I ended up calling my aunt, because she had called me earlier, and she's someone who had struggled with, like, substance use before, so she's someone I really trust. And I would just call her, and I was like, hey, like, I'm at this park, can you meet me? And she's like, absolutely. So she met up with me. She's like, Angelina, like, I care about you. She's like, and she had to kind of make a boundary at this point, because she has 2 young kids, my little cousins, and I had been just totally making broken promises to them. Sure. And she's like, Angelina, like, I love you and I care about you, but, like, I can't let you be around my kids like this. And, like, I'm super close to, like, these cousins, so of course that, like, broke my heart. And she's like, but tonight, like, I could take you to a hotel. I'll stay there with you tonight, and then tomorrow we can go, because I wasn't getting everything with the miscarriage figured out either. I wasn't taking care of myself. So she's just like, we can go to the ER tomorrow. Let's just get everything figured out. And, like, yeah, like, I'll just stay with you. And at that moment, like, I was so just, I was done. Like, I was done living. I was done running. Like, I was like, okay, like, let's do that, you know? And so yeah, she takes me to that hotel. It's so crazy too, because before she took me to the hotel, I had gone back to the guy's house, and I had grabbed my stuff, and I had told him, like, I was like, hey, I'm gonna go get help. Like, I'm gonna get help, and, like, I really think you should do the same. And, like, I remember even just being like, I'm gonna pray for you, you know? And, like, till this day, I still pray for, like, the people that I've gone high with, because, like, at the end of the day, it's a spiritual thing, you know? It's like, it's warfare, and, like, it's hard. And so yeah, I ended up going to the hotel with her. The next day, going to the ER. Luckily, everything was going fine with the miscarriage, but while I was there, I was like, I need to go to rehab again, because that last time I had been to rehab was January of that year. It was March now of this year. And so January, I'd gone for a week, and I was like, I'm never going back to rehab. It doesn't work. It's stupid. It's a waste of money. Like, I'm not doing that ever again. But at this point, I was like, no, I need to, like, really go there. I need to, like, be in a structured environment. I knew I did. Like, truly believe the Lord could have kept me sober despite if I went to rehab or not. But like, I just knew in that moment I needed to be in an enclosed area where I'm going to have that time with specifically the Lord, but also just to really reflect on things. Like really just, yeah, it's crazy. So they ended up not being able to get me in. So I'm out. I'm out of rehab I'm sober for 4 days outside of rehab, which I've never done before.
Oh.
I've never went into rehab sober. I was always high going in. So that second day, I think, is like when the Lord had like really delivered me from the obsession to drink and use. Like, and I know it sounds crazy, but like he like really did deliver me from that right away. Like, I feel like the first 2 days I was kind of battling a little bit, but I kept praying. I was just like, Lord, help me, like help me. That was the biggest prayer I was praying those first 2 days, was just help me, help me. And he was helping me. Like, I just trusted in him. I finally let go, and I was praying so much. And yeah. And then got in the rehab. Was there for 90 days, which I've never done 90 days in rehab. It was always like a month or 2 months. Yeah, exactly. So I did the 90 days because I was like, I'm sticking it out, you know. And
it's not just checking boxes.
Right.
You were like, I need to be here.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And it was like, I want to too. Like, I want this. Like, I just want to be like, I want to live a better life. I don't want to live the way I was living. I'll do anything, like literally anything. And yeah, I mean, I got a sponsor right away. Ended up like kind of switching around sponsors because I was kind of not picky, but I was kind of like, I need somebody who's not gonna, who's gonna be okay with the fact that I'm gonna talk about Jesus all the time, and be okay with the fact that I'm excited about sobriety. Because a lot of people, I feel like, the sponsors I had were not super excited about sobriety. They're like, oh, we have to do this. And it's like, no, I want to do this. Like, I don't want to do what I was doing. So yeah, I got a sponsor, worked the steps in AA at the time, and then I started going to Celebrate Recovery, which I love Celebrate Recovery. It's amazing. Still go there. Just like celebrated my 7 months the beginning of this month. And yeah, or 6 months. I just hit 7 months like a week ago. But yeah, so I'm like really excited. Like, I don't know, the Lord's kept me sober, but also while I was in there, I feel like the Lord really put like a calling on my life where he was like, I want you to like I saved you from this so you can go shepherd to women that are lost like you were, you know. And so crazy, he started to like just give me kind of like, not even like these visions, but just these dreams that I never had before. Like, I never had I was never excited about the future. I was never like, I want to do this. And it wasn't just for my own good. Like, this is to glorify the kingdom of Jesus. Like, I don't know. I just want to like let people know that they're loved and what they're doing. Like, you know, it's never going to be it's never going to be enough. Like, and it was crazy. I got to experience, I think like 3 weeks ago, I was in Sacramento, and I was actually next to Watt Avenue, which is where the Blade is in Sacramento. And I was with my friend, and I was like, hey, do you mind driving through the Blade? And like, I talked to these girls, and he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yes. Like, you know, I prayed before, and I was like, you know, like, Holy Spirit, lead me. Like just let's get it. And I was able to talk to a girl, and like, she cried, and like, I feel like she really felt the Lord's presence. And I was able to pray over her, and like, I'm still praying for her till this day. And like, it was just such a beautiful moment. Like, it was also so like, just so humbling to me to remember like that's where I came from, but also like, so it's just so amazing to be able to like just try to be a light for these women, you know. But yeah, like these past like 7 months, the Lord has taught me so much. I think most importantly is like, I shouldn't stay where it's comfortable, like, because I think my flesh is so comfortable in certain situations, certain environments, and when I'm too comfortable in places, like, that's a red flag for me. And I'm glad he's able to show me that, you know.
What happens when you're when you get a little too
comfortable? Well, I stop growing, first of all. It stops my growth. I'm like, oh, I'm good. Like, yeah, I have a relationship with God, or like, yeah, I'm praying, or like, yeah, I'm doing this, reading my Bible, but it's like, that's not really what it's about. Like, it's about like letting the Lord truly clean me out, like, you know, which I'm okay with. Like, yeah, like when I'm too comfortable, it really does, it stunts my growth. Stunts my growth, or it brings back old behavior, and I start to not even notice it. Like, I was talking to my mom the other night, and she was like, oh yeah, I was noticing like a couple things this last week, you know. And she talked to them. I was like, oh my goodness. And when she was bringing them up, it was like, yeah, you're right. And I started to finally see it, you know. And
instead of being defensive or I don't care.
Right. Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, yeah, the Lord has like just mended a lot of relationships. Me and my dad are actually like, we are on really good terms now.
Stepdad or
both dads, actually. Okay. My stepdad and my biological dad.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful because I have 3 siblings on his side, so get to see them. Getting really close with him. I've been able to really forgive him, which that was a big reason why I was doing all the things I was doing was because I felt unwanted. I felt undeserving, like unworthy of like any man's love. So I tried to go get it from all these other men, like people who weren't my dad. And so, yeah, I think I've finally been able to really forgive him. And that's such a freeing thing too. And it's helped me just soften my heart towards him and really take in the fact that he's human too. And like, he's been through a lot. And I think I had this idea of like, oh, he's supposed to be my dad. He's, it's like, yes, but a big thing that helps you have grace for both my parents is like, it's their first time doing life too. It's not like they were born and they were parents and they're just my parents. Like, no, like we're all doing this for the first time too. Yeah. So that's a huge thing that helped me forgive both parents, and my stepdad as well, my parent as well. But yeah, like the Lord has just done so much in my life already. And I just try to live every day for him and like glorifying him because, I've lived most of my life trying to satisfy myself. Never worked. I was never satisfied. Satan really had his hold on me. And like, I truly believe I didn't see an issue with what I was doing because it was like, oh, well, he was already comfortable with where I was at. So he's not going to throw any attacks at me. God was trying to get in, but yeah, he was trying so hard. And that last like week before I got sober, I really saw the Lord moving in my life. And like, yeah, so I ended up getting baptized again because that baptism when I was 19,
something more.
Yes, it actually meant something this time. And yeah, I feel like I'm just so grateful for him and like our relationship. Like, it's not even, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, but then I have to remind myself like it's not about doing, it's about like almost like being with him, It's about just spending that time with him. It's not about, oh, I need to read my Bible for this amount of time each day, or I need to, like pray this amount of time only because like, no, it's like talking to him like throughout the day. And like, yes, praying is really important to me and I love it so much. Like I love praying for people as well, and just really trying to be like emphasize the fact that he's a healing God. Like he is healing and he is so faithful. Like I think I used to doubt what God could do so much until I've like looking back now, knowing that he delivered me from like so many years of drug addiction to like one day I woke up not wanting to do anything at all, not having any desire, feeling like I could literally go and be in a room with a whole bunch of people doing cocaine and not want to do any, but just want to pray for them and tell them about Jesus. Like that's all I want to do now is like talk to people about what he can do for somebody. He's done so much for me. I'm so grateful. Like seriously, I say it every day. Like I don't deserve where I'm at, but I am where I'm at because I trust the Lord and like because I truly like fear him, and I fear the fact that like one day if I could be separated from him, and I don't want to be separated from him. I would love to spend eternity with him. Like that's all I'm about now is like furthering God's kingdom and just oh my goodness, it's so exciting. Like I just truly love him so much. Yeah, he's taught me so much and he loves me exactly where I'm at. I think that's the most important thing that that he taught me right from the beginning was he was going to love me exactly where I'm at. Like I can't sit here today and be like, oh well, I did this and now I'm God just hates me. Like no, he met me literally on drugs going through a miscarriage. Like if he met me at the bottom, he'll meet me anywhere else, and yeah, it's just like I never want to betray him ever again. He's just done so much for me. He's mended, like I said, relationships in my life that me and my mom are even getting closer, and like we have conversations. My brother's 11 and on my mom's side, and like I talk to him all the time about Jesus, and like I'm able to pray with him all the time. He prays before he eats, like he talks to me about God, and it's so beautiful, like to really see Jesus working in the life of like, or God working in the lives of like everyone around me. It's so beautiful. I'm very, very grateful.
So awesome.
Yes, so great.
So awesome.
Yeah, sorry, that was a lot.
No, it's okay. I'm like, I need to hug you. I need tissues.
No.
He is. He's so good. So, what does a day, when you wake up in the morning, run me through a day now with him. Like, what is the difference he makes in your day?
Okay.
I mean, not just because of you're not
doing those things,
but
so I wake up. I've been working on like not grabbing my phone first. I feel like that's a struggle sometimes, but like even when I'm in bed, I just kind of like first of all, thank you, Lord, for waking me up today. And I ask him really just to, I've been praying this for a lot, which it's a painful one, but it's like whatever's in me that's not like you, like take it out and show me what it is. And sometimes I try to take breaks from praying that prayer, but I feel like every day, like praying that prayer, it's going to be a challenge, but he'll be, like I said, like he'll be with me throughout it. So it's okay. So like praying that prayer, and also just asking him to like whoever he needs me to like pour into, or whoever he wants like for me to be poured into from, like just let that happen, you know. And I give my will to him every morning. I give creds to AA for that, because they did teach us like we have to turn our will over, and like that's what I do in the morning. I'm like, your will, not mine, God. Like just let me follow. And I have to pray that prayer sometimes throughout the day, because sometimes I'll take my will back, and I'll be like get prideful, or I'll get mad about something, and I'll be like, oh wait, like let me get back on track. Yeah, so I do that. And then just like throughout the day, I mean, even when I'm driving, I feel like that's a time that I really spend with the Lord, is like I try to turn my music off, and I'll just get deep in prayer, and I'll be able to like a good 10 minutes of just like thanking him for the things in my life, because you thank him for one thing and then it's like, oh, all these other things too, and it just keeps going. Right. And then I just ask him more of just kind of more, I ask him more about like, right now I've been struggling a lot with like the fear of man, so I just ask him to really just like keep that off, and like this anxiety, like fear of judgment, or like not being enough just to be broken, and also just praying for like other people too in the car. Like that, I feel like that time is just so crucial for me sometimes, like to just really just get deep in it. I just love it.
It's like your prayer closet.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so just sit there and just talk to him, and I do that. And then throughout the day, I'm literally talking to him all the time. Like, I thank him for getting me places safely. I thank him for, like, my prayer life is a lot of gratitude. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, and when it's not, like this last week, I was struggling a lot and I wasn't grateful. Like, I was shying away from the Lord because I was doing things that I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing. And I was feeling bad about it. But then literally 2 nights ago, I just remembered, I was like, no, the Lord's waiting for me with open arms just for me to come back. Like, just go back, Angelina. So I ran back to him, finally broke that ice, and like just being able to talk to him again. Like, he's my dad. Because like, I think that's a big thing, is like knowing he's my father in heaven, but like just really treating him like my father, like really treating him like that. Because I love both my earthly fathers, don't get me wrong, but there's just nothing that can compare to like the Father in heaven. Like, there's nothing. And so just being able to know that I could talk to him about whatever. He's not sitting there like, oh, you don't say that. Like, he's just like, come to me and be honest. And so I talk to him like all the time, just like a regular conversation. He's really funny, he makes me laugh a lot. And even sometimes throughout the day, he'll like put certain, like, I'm not like I wish like I knew verses by heart all the time, like all of them, but he like tells me certain things, like certain areas in the Bible to go, and like I'll go there and like he directly speaks to me. It's actually it's such a weird thing. Like, I love it, but it's so beautiful, but like it's so new, like to really have like that Holy Spirit in me talking to me and like telling me things. It's so beautiful though. But and then I get home, and I just pray before bed, thank him. I try to pray with my family. We don't do it every single night. I'm not home most nights. I work, and I go to do a lot of things like within the church throughout the week. I just love kind of doing anything I can. So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome.
It's a lot of prayer throughout the day. I'm like, that's if I'm being honest.
You're building your relationship with him and history with him, and like it's so precious. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
He's good.
Yes.
He's really good. Okay, so let me ask you this: if there was someone who is in the situation you have been in, or just curious about God, or not walking with him, what would you want to tell them?
Well, first of all, I say it all the time, but Jesus loves you. Like, he loves you so much. You're never too far gone. I say this a lot too. You are never too far gone for the Lord to be able to use you for his kingdom. Like, just love you exactly where you're at. Like, he loves you no matter what you're doing. Like, he says to like come to him as you are and just don't stay the same. Like, he'll change you. Like, it's not about you needing to like make the changes on your own. I think that's a big thing, is like, you aren't in this alone, like this world. You don't have to go through life alone. He can walk you through it and just guide you. Like, it's just so hard. Like, it makes me so happy to just say that, because it was so hard. I used to think I was always so alone. I used to think nobody cared. I used to think, the world would be better off without me. But it's like, then Jesus came and he was like, nope, and I'm like, okay, like, I don't know. It's just, it's so beautiful. And just talk to him like you would anybody else. Like, I think I almost thought I had to be scripted, and I was like, oh, like I need to say this to him, and I can't say this, and I gotta say this, but it's like, no, it's like, just have a conversation, like literally talk to him like he's sitting right next to you. Like that's what I do when I'm driving too. I act like he's in my passenger seat, like, and we're just driving down the road. Like I always just imagine that he's like truly there. I'm very like a visual person, so it's almost like I just imagine a little like thing with me. It's so fun though. Yeah, just talk to him. Truly, like, I think like a big thing is like surrendering, but like the way I surrender is like I'm like I said, a visual person, so it's kind of like I imagine like I'm just like giving him like this gift of like all my trauma, which sounds so weird, but it's like really just like giving that to him, and he'll like right, or like there's like this metaphor that my sponsor told me. It's like we're walking down a dirt road with Jesus next to us. We have this huge backpack on. We're holding it, and he's trying to talk to us. He's like, hey, like, you know, you want me to hold that for you? And you're like, no, God, like I got this, like I got it, you know. And he's like, you sure you don't want me to hold it? And you're like it's getting heavier and heavier, and you're just like, no, I got it. And then finally, like, you fall, and he's like, are you sure you don't want me to hold it? And then you're like, yes, you can hold it. It's like you finally give him that backpack, and you're able to walk alongside with him, and like he's carrying all that, but it's not so heavy for him. Like he literally, like, I don't know, like he died on a cross for our sins. Like he went through so much, and it's not even just the fact that he, like, you know, had to go through the beatings and like the physical part. Like he had to literally take on the wrath that we deserved, and like he took on all that because he loves us. Like, so when people say like, oh, God doesn't love me because of what I'm going through, like we also have to think about it's like God sometimes lets us go through these things so we can then shepherd the people that, like, for me, like I think I don't regret anything from my past. Like I really think I can use it to glorify God now, you know? And yeah, like you're never too far gone. That's a big thing I want to say. He loves you right where you're at. You're never too far gone. And yeah, it's like your Bible's really important too. It actually is kind of, it is important. Like it really is. I think, like religion, like Christianity, I feel like a big thing is like, it's about relationship and not religion. Like, it's not like we go and we have to like, you know, follow all these rules. It's like, no, we read the Bible, and like we then start to like understand what God's telling us, and like then we get that understanding that's how he talks to us. Like that's a big way of how he speaks to at least me. Like I know I wasn't picking up my Bible for a few days, and I felt so bad. I pick it up. It's like he brings me right to like Romans 12, and I read that chapter, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, it was exactly what I needed to read at that moment. And yeah, like he speaks to us through the Bible. I haven't gone front to back, not gonna lie. I've read the Gospels, which I'm proud of myself for finally getting through. But yeah, like I just kind of dip around wherever he like leads me, and yeah, it's really beautiful. But he loves you, and you're never too far gone. That's a big thing.
Yeah, Angelina, thank you so much for telling us what you've seen and heard and know about God. And I just, he's so good. He's so good. Another testimony, another revelation of his heart and his goodness for specific circumstances, for beloved specific people. And I just thank you for sharing with that today. Of course.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to and letting me glorify him. You know, he's great.
You do. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.